All right, folks, let's go ahead and take a look at our daily recap on our major market moves. Okay, so let's take a look at S&P 500 after hours. We're up a little bit. We'll see what happens tomorrow morning with futures, right? But we had a really solid day here, even though we have a little bit of a long wick, right? A little bit of a long wick there. Let's go into the intraday. Let's go 5-day, 15-minute. So as we can see here, a little bit of a week into the day. Last hour of the day, we really saw pretty significant weakness after really having a great start to the day. So really good start to the day, and then we were sideways. So what we want to see now is really if our bulls can continue this and us continue to see upward movement in the market. Otherwise, we know, right? We know that in bear markets, we tend to see big up days and a general trend, right? So when we're looking at this trend, I mean, let's just take a look at all of our moving averages, right? So we closed below our 9 EMA. We closed below our 21 EMA. Obviously, we're below our 50 simple moving average, okay? So we're below all of these major moving averages. Really, the only moving average that we're above is our 200, and we know that that offers major support. So as I look at the S&P 500, really what I want to see us close over our EMAs first, or even see a crossover on the EMA. We haven't seen a crossover on the 9 over the 21 in quite a while. And so before I begin to really think about really getting bullish on equities from a technical perspective, I want to see that crossover, right? When I see that crossover, then we'll really begin to potentially think that we're going to see some pretty bullish movement. Okay. Yeah, of course, major support that I'm watching is the 200 simple moving average. When we come out a little bit, the only other major supports that I see one right here on this candle. Oh, nope. So let's make sure that we have the right drawing tool. So we passed through this support. I see some support right here at this level. I mean, what is that? 422. I see a little bit of support there. Right here again, and all of these were around OPEX, right? So we see OPEX here, we see OPEX there. They front-loaded OPEX a little bit, and then we see OPEX here. But really, going into OPEX, we saw all of these types of moves. And so I'm interested there. So 422, 414, and then of course our 200-day simple moving average. And this is going to cross over this line of support very, very soon. Okay. And so that's really what I'm watching on the SMA and the S&P 500 with the SMAs. Okay. When we go to the IWM or small caps, we continue to see a channel here. I mean, we've had this channel up and down right in here since, I mean, essentially all year, right? We have the start of the year here, and then boom, as soon as we enter into this channel, it has been sideways all year. Okay, sideways all year, really. And take a look at our moving averages, right? Everything is really muddied right here. So we see the 200, the 50, the 9 EMA, the 21 EMA, right? Like they're all there, really bunched together. You can see here, no direction. We continue to just not see a lot of direction in our small caps. Okay, let's go to the Dow Jones. Now, this is going to look really similar to our S&P 500. Again, we have this, I guess this was 992, and we're getting close to that 200 simple moving average, right? We're below our 50. We're below our 9 EMA. Okay, so we're continuing to see that we're below our moving averages, with the exception of the 200. Now, if we lose the 200, certainly a bearish move. And finally, let's just go here and take a look at our Qs. Again, same story, below the 9 EMA, below the 50 SMA, above the 200. Okay, so we're watching these and kind of what they're going to do. I will say what's interesting is that we had all of these really long wicks. Again, we mentioned that on the S&P 500, but we continue to see all of those long wicks. Okay, let's take a look at volatility. So we'll bring up our VIX. VIX was down today 7.23%, but we are still outside of the box, which again is always bullish in equities, or at least that's how I begin to position and really begin to think about equities and how that impacts our diagonal trading. Okay, so we see here just some of the lines. Some people say you can't draw technical analysis on the VIX. I don't know that I agree with it. I do think that you tend to see some patterns right on the VIX, and so I think that's just worth noticing. But we go here, we are flirting between 19 and 20, 23, 24-ish, and so we want to see something happen one way or the other. Ideally, I'd like to see a breakdown, and that's primarily because of our large position in UVXY. So we saw quite a lot of movement, right? I mean, that's more than a 10% range. This is the primary position that I'm wanting to ensure that I get through. We'll roll this position, but I really want to see this one. And we'll roll this position because it's part of this right here. So here's our protection on this particular position. So, but this is the one I'm watching. If I can get this rolled for a credit, I'm certainly going to do so. Okay, back to our charts. Let's go to UVXY. Again, we are watching, would love to see this breakdown under 21. That's the goal, breakdown under 21, set a new all-time low. But we'll see what happens there. We could just as easily spike, back up. Okay. As I look to some of these others, there's really not a lot that I'm particularly interested in. I will go, where is it? Here we go. So, as I look into our major ETFs across the board, I do want to spend some time looking at gold. We are seeing gold come up off the bottom. We'll see if we can break through. We've got quite a lot of resistance here in gold. And so we want to be sure that we're watching that. Home builders continues to get just destroyed. UNG continues its massive march, and oil continues its march. And so those are really the ones that I'm most interested in right now. Just taking a look at biotech. Biotech is another one that's really interesting. I do want us to see this hold. We do trade Lab D and Lab U, and so we do want to see this little bit hold, because if we don't, I think that we are going to be in for. I think we got to go out a little bit. So if we lose this channel, I do think we potentially see 110. Maybe even lower in biotech, just from a technical perspective, because we do have these way out here. Okay, so that's what I'm watching there. Otherwise, we're just going to continue to play it by ear, really navigate through the market, and really see what it gives us. Okay, that's what I'm watching. That's the major market overview for us today. We will be back tomorrow morning to talk through what futures are doing and how that might impact our trading tomorrow. Okay, if you have any questions, reach out to me, Ryan at Sell That Option, or in the Discord channel. As always, happy trading.